What's up, guys? It's Crash, and we have to talk about some really big Delta Force extraction mode news that came out yesterday that I don't think a ton of people, or at least in my opinion, not enough people are talking about this, because one of the things in particular they announced about the game becoming open world was actually massive. And if we kind of look back at some interesting stuff when the game was first announced, it's been under our noses the whole time, and they just kind of low-key talked about it in a live stream yesterday. They did a big reveal live stream for the extraction mode for operations, where they talked for several hours with a couple different creators about what was coming to the game. And I would say around 95% of it at least is stuff that we already knew. It's stuff we've already played in the alpha tests and things like that. But there were just a few things, in particular Delta Force becoming open world around a year from now, which blew my mind, and I want to talk about the implications of that for just a little bit. There were a couple other things that were in there again that I think are important to you guys, so you don't have to go back and watch the 2 hours. I want to talk about them right here. A couple of the things that caught my interest that I don't think that we've heard about. But anyway, we do know that December 5th, this is when it's going to be coming out for everybody to try on PC. The console release is soon after that in Q1 of 2025, and that's where the seasons are going to get underway. That's where full controller support is going to be. And in my opinion, I think that's where a lot of folks are going to be playing this game, because there's even some cool stuff in this game that Arena Breakout Infinite is taking. Arena Breakout Infinite in their season 1 is going to have, you know, loot locked rooms. So if you have a key, you open a room, you're the only one that can loot that for 30 seconds. That's already in Delta Force. They're taking that in Arena Breakout, as well as the gear tickets. So Delta Force in the extraction mode, if you had a gear ticket, you lose, you die and lose your stuff, and you want to get right back in there, you just spend a ticket, you got to load out, you can hop back in. They're doing that in Arena Breakout. So I was really impressed with the polish of the extraction mode of this game, and some of the things they announced yesterday are pretty crazy. There's going to be, as a part of this extraction, as a part of operations, a new game mode that kind of pays homage to the old Delta Force games, and they're going to be calling it kind of like a raid, and it's going to be a PvE co-op mode where you guys go in and take part in like story missions that you have to go through. I'm going to play the trailer behind me that was kind of ripped from the live stream, so excuse the quality. I had to screen record it from the live stream to get a hold of it so you guys could see it. But they talked about how it's going to be pretty challenging PvE, and you're not going to lose your gear. So basically what you're going to do is load up, make your loadout and not have to worry about it, and just go into your friends and have fun and play through the objectives and the waypoints. It's kind of like little co-op stories that you play through. I kind of thought about the war mode from some of the older Call of Duties, where they would, do new missions that you could work through co-op and try to take care of those. Instead of multiplayer though, it's definitely going to be PvE. So I thought that was pretty cool. Then I will play behind me some new footage of the Brackish map, which is the new map that's coming to the extraction mode in this game. And it was kind of the first time, I think, in my opinion, that we were able to see around it. They went into the map editor and kind of explored around, went through and looked inside of all the buildings and things like that. So it's like the first time I think we've kind of been able to spend some time on the map and see what it looks like inside of it. You kind of have an abandoned old rundown village with a giant, like, crazy space age military monument in the middle. A couple other really important things that they talked about was the solo mode. Now, it was my understanding they were going to be adding a solo mode, but they said they aren't at this time because they're not sure if that would fill up, but they are listening to feedback. So if you are a solo player and want a solo queue playlist for the extraction mode, they said to reach out to them on Twitter, on Reddit, and on Discord, and kind of make your opinion heard. If they get enough people, they're thinking about it. They haven't decided exactly what they're going to do with that mode yet, or if they're going to have one, but they are thinking about it. I think a solo mode would be pretty cool. It would also be cool in that solo mode, if I'm giving my full opinion, to have one self-revive would be pretty cool too, if you could have one of those. They also did finally address having bots as potential players. So you guys know, and I know, like when you play at some of the early matches and early on in the games to get in queue quicker, they had bots disguised as players, right? They had PMC AI, and you could really obviously tell with the kit they had, how they behaved, how they acted, but they had like real life type gamer tags to try to hide it. They didn't tell you that it was a bot or anything like that, and I definitely hated that. But on this live stream, they addressed it, and they said there will be 100%, without a doubt, no bot PMC. So if you see another operator, if you see another specialist, it's 100% going to be a player. So they're getting rid of that, which I thought was really, really good to hear. It's definitely something that was really frustrating, because you would kill a player, you'd have that high, you get excited, like I just took out a player, you go check out their gear, and it's just like the standard bot gear, and you realize that you just killed an AI, and it wasn't as exciting. And I just hated that they weren't delineated, or there wasn't anything like a label or anything to tell you that they were AI. They posed as actual players. So I'm really thankful that that's going to be gone. And they definitely reiterated several times about no pay to win, and they are like double, triple, quadrupling down that you will not be able to buy in-game currency. Everything that you're going to be able to buy will be cosmetics. And I'm just going to go out and say it. I know some of you, including kind of myself, it's like my preference. It's not going to be game breaking for me, but I think there's going to be some crazy skins in this game. There's going to be some shiny stuff, some crazy stuff, because they do have to make money somehow. Arena Breakout Infinite is kind of the flip side of that. Like, you can buy in-game currency, which is frustrating to me, but you're not really going to see any super crazy cosmetics over in Arena Breakout. So it's like you win some, you lose some. You can't have everything. It's like the triangle of death. You can pick any two of these, but you can't have all three. So with that being said, everything that I think you need to hear is that. But the biggest thing that they said, in my opinion, and it was kind of crazy how they glossed over it to me, was that they said at around 1 year anniversary, their big 1 year update, they're going to hook all of the operations maps together, who knows how many there will be at that time, and make it open world. And something else I found to be really interesting was one of the teasers that they announced a long time ago when they were very first talking about having extraction mode with this game was this giant map. And then when the game came out, I thought it was going to be a huge open big extraction shooter, but then we got Zero Dam and Leali Grove and Space City and some of these smaller maps, and it didn't quite make sense. Well, now that they're going open world, this could be our first look from a year from now of everything hooked together. And it's kind of ironic that it was one of the first teasers that we saw with the game. So and I don't know what that means. Does that mean like Tarkov, where it's like you just extract and you go into it and then that spawns you into the next one? Or if it's kind of like Gray Zone Warfare, where they're all hooked together and the server just keeps running and you can extract when you want to, you can move around when you want to, you can go to your black site, or maybe even your black site is on the server and you just pop into your black site to do stuff, to sell stuff, and then pop right back in, and you can traverse all around to all the maps with no time limit. Because they did talk about how they're going to be adding weather, they're going to be adding day-night cycle that they're working on, and there's going to be more than just turning the lights down on it. They're doing AI changes with that, as well as all the changes that actually come in with weather and with the day-night cycle changes and stuff like that. So they said it's really complicated how they're making it to where it's accurate. Kind of like what Gray Zone Warfare is doing soon as well. So open world, how is this going to be? That's one of my favorite things about Gray Zone Warfare, is being able to stay on the server, right? You fly your chopper back to the base, you can do all your stuff and fly right back out, but you're always in the game. You're not spending a ton of time in the menus. You're not on any kind of time limit or time crunch. As long as you have enough food and water, you're out there vibing. So that is really, really cool. And to see that coming to a game that's as polished as Delta Force is really exciting. The thought of an open world extraction game with this level of polish and this level of budget and content behind it is pretty exciting, to say the least. Also, cross progression and cross platform and all that stuff too. I think it's going to have a really, really big audience, and I definitely want to continue to cover it and put some time into the extraction mode. You guys know, I've said it before, the warfare mode, the battlefield type mode, in my opinion, doesn't hit for me. I still think Battlefield, even 2042, does a better, cleaner, more polished job of large scale multiplayer combat. We'll see what War Dogs can do. We'll see what the Time to Kill or TTK studio is working on. But for me right now, in Delta Force is one of the most exciting extraction shooters that's out there right now, because of, I do believe, the amount of, developer power they have behind it with the budget that is Tencent. So hate it or love it, the game itself, I think, is going to come out and be really good. It has a lot of innovations that even other Tencent games like Arena Breakout are taking. And if they pull it off to make it like truly open world when they hook the maps together in a year, I think it could be really, really cool. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, if that'll change your opinions on the game or not, or how you feel about it. If you made it to the end of the video, I can't thank you enough. You guys are a blessing to me, and I would love to see you on the next one.